Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another Future State Fool's Gold review, and this time I'll be covering Superman Worlds of War Issue 2, to which it has 4 stories. And as you can see, the total for this one, converted in Australian dollars, is $14.55. So it's got quite a lot to live up to in showing how much it's worth, or each story is worth. As you can see to the left hand side, that is how I rate the system, cover, art, story, and how much I believe they're worth. So starting off with the cover, did the cover in any way help with the shaping of the story? I'd have to say in mediocre part, it did. So for that, it got a 6 out of 10, to which I believe it was worth $1.25. So let's move into the internal art for the first story. This is some art towards the beginning of the story. I'll now move to some of the art towards the end, because I've got 4 stories to cover here, including this one. And here is the art towards the end. The art felt pretty consistent as it was last time, to which I believe the art is actually worth, to which I believe the art rating to which I give this is a 6 out of 10, to which again I believe it's worth $1.25. But what about the story? Okay, what locations do we get in the story to which help the world building in this? Of course, we've got Smallville and of course Warworld. What about the cast of characters? Superman and Mongol, they're about the only characters I seem to recognise and sort of care about in this. As for the additional extras, we still don't know who the fuck they are, and I don't really give a fuck about them. Putting it bluntly. It's just a useless part of the cast. I don't like how Philip Kennedy Johnson has sort of like brought this story across. When in the first issue, he did pretty much the same thing that he did in this issue. It feels like he hasn't learnt, to which I give the story rating 3 out of 10, to which I believe it's worth 70 cents. He should have started this off with Superman in Warworld and then show what was happening on Earth afterwards. Like, he could have kept that going for, say, a majority of the storytelling, and then in the last 5 pages show what was happening on Earth. He could have done that with the first issue, and he could have done this again with the second. So apart from that, let's move on to the next story. Moving on to the next story, as you can see some of the art. The art is nice. It is consistent, but did it really work well with the story? Yeah. I think last time I gave this score a little bit higher. This time I'm setting it around the middle mark. 5 out of 10. With both 5 out of 10, especially for the art, to which I believe it's worth $1. So, let's see a little bit more of the art before I cover the story. Okay, this is a little bit more of the art. Now to work with the story. This story around, of course, Mr. Miracle, Shiloh Norman. We've still learnt nothing about what's happened with Scott Free. With the character. Like, has he actually died or not? It would be nice to sort of see that within the story, but of course it hasn't been brought across in any of the Mr. Miracle stories. And you never really see him sort of mourning for scot-free Mr. Miracle, which I find is very stupid, as it gives the character no character. I enjoy the art in this, to which I gave it a 5 out of 10, to which I believe it's worth $1. As for the story, about the only locations that we got in this was wherever the fuck Mr. Miracle was on Warworld. It wasn't even fucking pointed out, or wherever the fuck he was in space. Like, what sector? Is he somewhere near the Green Lanterns? I don't fucking know. So, why should I fucking care? That's how the writing's been done. And where is the care in this storytelling? There is none. Only for one little place. And that's something in relation to what appears to be like a flashback with this Jonathan Syndicate Kent. That's right, I'm calling him Jonathan Syndicate Kent. I have my reasons. Especially if you checked out the Superman of Metropolis story recently. There, it will explain to you why I call him that. Of course, we do see John Syndicate Kent. We also get the Fortress of Solitude. We really don't get any conversation in relation to that, or if he had any conversation in relation to that. Of course, we've got something linking to when Metropolis was bottled within the story, and it just fell dead in the water, to which I gave the story 3 out of 10, to which I believe it's worth 70 cents. Overall total of this story is $1.70. The total for the previous story, $3.20. Let's move on to the third one, having to do with Midnighter. Was there any improvement? So, starting off with the art for Midnighter. This is some art around the beginning. I'll now jump to some art towards the end. And this is some of the art towards the end. So, what did I think of the art in this story, and did it really work with the story? Well, it fell on deaf ears. It felt mediocre. Didn't really feel consistent in some places, but other places it sort of was consistent. To which I gave it 5 out of 10, to which I believe it's worth $1. What about the story? Now, as you know, I enjoy seeing locations in the story. Did we get locations in the story? You bloody bet we did. I enjoyed that, but did it actually help the overall story rating? We got the location of the Chrysalis satellite, which is on Warworld. We also visited Earth. The characters that we get to see in this were Midnighter and what appears to could be Apollo, but isn't Apollo. The character that he was up against felt like a shapeshifter, and the story really didn't drag me in. It didn't capture my attention, to which I gave it 2 out of 10, to which I believe it was worth 50 cents, giving an overall total to this story of $1.50. Time to move to, last but not least, the fourth story. As we jump into the fourth story, we've got the story of Black Racer, and it feels like their attempt to escape off the planet. The art was actually really done in this, and it seemed consistent again in some places, not so consistent in other places. To which I gave the art overall 5 out of 10, to which I believe the story is worth $1. But what about the story? What locations did we get to go to on Warworld? And that's right, we are still on Warworld. So we ended up visiting the area of Ring 3 and also Ring 2. So in one of them, it was sort of like a control room to which the Black Racer used to escape off the planet. It was probably about the only thing as well exciting with the story too. To which I gave the story rating 5 out of 10. It sort of feels roughly about the same as the last time I covered this issue, to which it gives an overall total of $2. Well, until then, please don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's keep it colourful, and have yourself an awesome day.